Super Bowl 60 is fast approaching, and you can bet on every moment of Super Bowl glory. Every trip to that end zone matters more than ever, as the Seahawks and the Patriots are going head-to-head. And DraftKings Sportsbook has all your favorite ways to bet touchdowns for Super Bowl 60. The next great Super Bowl touchdown is coming, and you can bet on every moment of glory. New customers, bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the code SONNEN. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Stay in on the action and use your bonus bets on DraftKings same game parlays for a shot at an even bigger payout. Love the thrill of live betting? Bet live on star player props and in-progress games right as they happen. If sports betting is not yet available in your state, don't worry. You can still join in on all the fun with DraftKings Daily Fantasy Sports and have a shot to win cash prizes. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. New customers, use my promo code SONNEN and bet just $5 on any wager and get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. That's promo code SONNEN only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Daniel Cormier has a plan. He has a plan to bring American wrestlers back to MMA and make them champions. And he was talking about this, and he said, the way it used to be, which historically is very accurate. Like, the American wrestlers were cleaning house, martial arts for a very long time. Daniel said, now the wrestlers that we have are Eastern Europeans, and they're champions. We need the American wrestlers to be champions, and I have a plan. I'd be curious what that plan is, and I would be curious why. Is it just like a love for wrestling? And this is I'm a wrestling fan. I support wrestling very much, and I want to see our wrestlers go to world and Olympic games and do well. I want to see them go to Real American Freestyle and do well. What's the big deal if they come to UFC or not? I'm just curious. And what is with the claim that the Eastern Europeans are doing well in MMA? Who? Which one? And I know the answer. We're supposed to believe the Dagestanis. We're supposed to be Khabib and the Islams of the world. Chimaev would qualify as a wrestler. Islam would not. Islam doesn't represent wrestling. If you ask Islam, who do you represent? He would say Sambo. Khabib did the same thing. And I understand that, but this is what they said. This is what they cling to. I don't know that Khabib owns a singlet. If Islam has ever been in a singlet, I don't know about it. But they spend a lot of time with the wrestlers. There's no doubt that they have a wrestling-heavy MMA game, but so did Georges St-Pierre. Georges St-Pierre had arguably, until Khabib and Islam, the most wrestling-heavy MMA game, and definitely the heaviest wrestling MMA game for a guy who had never wrestled and was not there to represent wrestling. So I'm curious what that plan would look like. One thing that they would need to do right from Jump Street to test this is to sign American wrestlers. And we're playing this weird thing with Gable Steveson right now. It's really just weird. He's really good. He's really young. He's really popular. He's coming to the UFC, but we haven't signed him. We haven't signed him because there's nowhere else to go, so we'll sign him when we're ready to sign him. The whole thing's just weird. Sign Gable Steveson. But I would just make that argument that I don't know that wrestling, so wrestling used to dominate, wrestling isn't dominating anymore. Well, are wrestlers getting beat? It's a very different thing if wrestlers aren't being given the opportunity or they're not being signed, or if wrestling in and of itself needs to be transitioned, but that would go against the plan. We're not just taking somebody that's good at wrestling and then we're going to teach them jiu-jitsu and we're going to teach them kickboxing. If we're talking about high-level American wrestling, we're talking about the David Taylors and the Kyle Dakes and the Jordan Burroughs. We're talking about that aura of guy. We're talking about the top guy, the Spencer Lees, the Kyle Schneiders. We're talking about bringing over our best guys and putting them into MMA, and how do we make them even be interested? And that part isn't as complicated to understand as you might think if you do follow wrestling. Like, there was no money in wrestling. You had to go into MMA unless you wanted to retire and go and do something else. But if you wanted to pursue sports, the closest thing that you had with a skill set of a wrestler, which that and 50 cents would get you a cup of coffee. Believe me, I found out the hard way, but I'm just sharing with you that it was MMA. And you still can transition. I think that Bo Nickal is showing us that, by the way. I don't see anything from Bo that makes me think he's going to be anything less than a UFC champion. But I would also concede it is a different sport. Like Khabib and Islam and company did not pursue world and or Olympic Games, but you only have so much time, right? The Olympic Games roll around every 4 years. So if you want to stay locked and honed in on that, or if you want to use that same time and energy towards mixed martial arts and you're working on some kickboxing, you're starting to learn this jiu-jitsu, and it's an interesting thing. I mean, how badly do we need the American wrestler? I'm confident we've got him right now in Gable Steveson, just don't have him under contract. I'm confident that we've got other top wrestlers. I mean, I watched this play out through Abu Dhabi. I watched Mark Kerr go to Abu Dhabi as a purple belt and destroy the field. And he destroyed them so bad that Abu Dhabi stopped letting wrestlers in. And they were happy to take the bow. Everybody that won Abu Dhabi this year was a jiu-jitsu guy, right? You got jiu-jitsu and you got Sambo and you got judo and you got all these different things. Yeah, but you didn't let any wrestlers in. We're not represented. We do not have one guy here. So it's interesting. I would like to know what Daniel's plan is, but I would also like to know what is the importance of the plan. Why would we take our top wrestlers, have them take their eye off of world and Olympic aspirations, which is what we trained them to do the time they were 8 years old and walked in the gym in the first place, and move them over to MMA? And I like the idea of through competition to stop the Eastern Europeans, but that is not accurate that Eastern European wrestlers are doing well in MMA. They have one representative. His name is Khamzat Chimaev. He's the undefeated champion of the world. Tell me the second one. There is nobody else that is represented. It's their choice. It's not ours. Those guys claim they're Sambo. That means they're Sambo.